Sims 4 wedding expansion, one released in Russia over homophobic federal laws. You know, I actually saw that US military ad with that young girl who has two mothers. I just want to say that's not very progressive because Russia used to have two mothers since World War II. Every single Russian had two mothers. Every single one. It was his or her own mother and, of course, Mother Russia. So Russians have two mothers, all right? Like Russians were more progressives than the United States. But let's talk a little bit about this. I find it very interesting, right? Because all of a sudden journalists are for free speech. And I get it. I mean, it's harmless. It shouldn't be the case. But what's interesting is that none of these journalists, like Kotaku, Polygon, none of them complain when companies censors on behalf of China. So, for example, when boobies are shrinkened or blood is being removed or any no, that's fine. That is fine. Oh, but the holy LGBT, oh, now it's a problem. Oh, now it's a problem. So if you don't care about the things that I care about, which is boobies being shrinken by China, China gives video games titty cancer. That if you don't care about the things I care about, why do you want me to care about the things you care about? I don't even play Sims, by the way. I don't care about it. It's like censor all the way. Like he censors the entire game. I don't care. Nothing. Do not care. But I would have cared if you cared about my things, because it's a little bit like a two-way street. It's like you care about the things I care, so I care about it's called empathy, right? Because then I feel like a moral obligation. It's like, look, when I was down, when I was on the ground and my boobies were taken away, who spoke on behalf? Kotaku. Kotaku was there for me, and it decided to talk on my behalf. So now I have a moral obligation. When Kotaku cares about the LGBT expression in The Sims, well, I have to care about it as well, because Kotaku was there when I needed. But you weren't there, Kotaku, were you? You weren't there. I looked around. There was no Kotaku. My boobies were taken away. And you were there laughing at me, Kotaku. You were there laughing at me. So now I laugh at you. Ha ha! Na ha ha! Na ha ha ha! Nah, how do you like it when it's being done to you? Ha, Mother Russia! Mother Russia! Apparently, the Russian government is notoriously homophobic. By the way, notice how they never talk about the Middle East? Like, you know, there are places in the world right now where if you happen to be gay, the punishment is death. I'm not kidding. Like, it's horrible, all right? They never talk about that, but Russia is homophobic. You can be gay in Russia, by the way. But because there were some academics, some university professors, some enlightened minds who were tying being gay with socialism, and it was like, oh, well, now they were pushing these ideologies working hand in hand together. The Russian government frowned upon this and said no more. So blame the university professors. They're to blame. And the West, by the way. Like when you see stuff on Netflix like AJ and the Queen or Cooties or all of these very beautiful, expressive, progressive movies, yeah, people in Russia see them as well. You're literally pushing back LGBT rights in Russia with that shit. Cut it out. Apparently a law was passed in 2013 that Russia refers to as the gay propaganda law, which goes a long way to explain why EA won't be releasing the latest Sims expansion in the region. Again, like this is so weird, you know, like, notice how Kotaku doesn't really point out when Disney censors posters and removes black people from them because they want to push that video into China. Why is that? Why is that, Kotaku? Do you not find it problematic? Is that a problematic? No, it's not. Developer Maxis explains that one of the wedding-themed expansion involves a same-sex marriage between two characters. And that was not something we could freely share around the world. By the way, Russia is not the only one that doesn't allow gay propaganda. If I'm not mistaken, again, like Middle Eastern nations don't allow it either. China doesn't allow it in their movies. Did you know that? That is why, like, every single TV show that's coming up, every single one, like try to name me 5 TV shows from recent years that do not have at least a gay couple in them. It's very difficult. Now, try to name me 5 big blockbuster Hollywood movies that do have gay couples in them. And the reason for this is that the TV shows are being sold to China, but the Hollywood blockbuster movies are being sold to China, so they have to censor. And Kotaku isn't picking that up. They don't care about that. Why is it so selective, Kotaku? Why? It's bizarre, you know, like someone like me that constantly reads your rag. I notice these things. It's like, why don't you speak out about all the issues that you care about? Why are you so laser focused on Russia? Huh? Is it because you're allowed to talk about Russia, but you're not allowed to talk about China? Are you getting money from China, Kotaku? Legit question. I don't know if you are. I'm not insinuating. I'm just saying. But it would be curious to know. Are there anybody coming from China to Kotaku? Probably not. But again, it would be worth investigating. Oh, conspiracy theory! Conspiracy theory! By the way, like, how do investigators start an investigation? Like, if by when you just say the hypothesis, it's already a conspiracy theory. It's like, well, no, like, let's look into it. Let's check it out. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are. But if we don't check it out, we never know. Anyway, in a blog post, they're saying that the wedding team is not going to go to Russia. It comes down to a simple choice. The team could tell the stories they wanted to tell and avoid the Russian market, upsetting some local fans, or they could water down their content for federal laws. And here is the letter. Celebrating love your way. Yes, celebrating love through consumerism. Consume the Sims. Pay money for the DLC pack in order to experience love your way. Over the years, you've delighted us with some ways your Sims found love. By the way, hold on a little bit. I just, it fell into my head right now. Are you telling me that they're still making DLC for Sims in 2022? Like, shouldn't you make another sequel for Sims? Dude, how much are you planning to milk your player base? Do they even have money in their wallets at this point? Like, how much money are you milking from them with DLCs? Just release a new game already, you lazy fucks. You've also shared with us your eagerness to walk down the aisle and have the Sims take their seats. When you set out to create my wedding stories, this was the vision we had. By the way, speaking about visions, do you remember Sims Online? Apparently, if I remember it correctly, there was a problem with the Sims economy. It was very difficult to make money. So players started prostituting themselves, like creating female characters and selling cyber sex in exchange for cash. But hey, you know what? Love is love. I'm pretty sure. Okay. How many of you remembered that? What was it? I think it was like early 2000s when it happened. It was very, very early. I forgot. I was very young when I heard about it. So yeah, they have a commitment to their values. All right. Well, I hope your values is making good games without bugs. Can you have those values? Is it possible if you have those values for a change? The ability to tell any story is the core of what we do at The Sims. Wasn't The Sims like the game where you told your own story because it was like a sandbox? Like you didn't buy it for the story. If you want to buy a game for the story, you buy Pathfinder, you buy Mass Effect. You know, but if you want a game for, like, making your own story, it's The Sims. Not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually still have, like, homosexual things in The Sims. Even in Russia, like, you can actually, like, just make a female Sim and go to your neighbor and make up with her. I remember, like, when I used to play the game, I would be in a relationship, right? And when the husband was going to work, the wife used to have the neighbor as a boyfriend. So if you actually had a high affinity with another Sim, when you called them over, they would bring you a box of chocolates. So what I would do is, like, I wouldn't buy food to save money, and I would just call the neighbor over, and he would come with a box of chocolates, and then I would send him back home, and I would keep the chocolates. And I would eat the chocolates in order to raise my hunger bar. So I would use the neighbor to constantly bring me food in the cost of chocolates just by talking and flirting with him. See, that's a good story. I made that story. It's mine. I did it. I didn't need the company. I didn't need EA Games to make me that story. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comments section. Yes? Хорошо, товарищ.